of these which we can use. Okay, recording in progress. So there are a lot of these shape files which we can use to generate maps using the Geographic Information Service. So this map, which I generated myself, shows that Ghana is really blessed with gold. All the spots on my screen, the original one is yellow. So I don't know what color you see, but if it doesn't come yellow gold, it may come as different color, but all the spots are the gold dotted areas.
Please, the host should click on the blue button. Click on the blue button. Got it?
Okay. So Emmanuel will say click on the blue and then they'll get the original color.
Oh, the blue.
There's a pop-up window. You have to click on the blue button. Got it?
Oh.
There's a pop-up window on the Zoom. The meeting is being recorded. Yeah. So click on, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's go on. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So it shows how blessed we are as a land full of gold. No wonder we were called, or we are called Gold Coast.
Father, so one moment. Can you put it in presentation mode so that it's bigger for us to see?
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay. So let me, we are all excited.
I tell you.
Okay. Good. Now, is that okay?
No, it seems to still be
okay, then
you have the slides on the side. It's okay then. If that's it's okay.
Do you see it now?
Yeah, you see it. Okay. I wanted it to be bigger, but it's okay.
Okay, then no, that is the size of it. Yes.
That's okay.
Okay. So that map tells us how big we are, how blessed we are. Then here, Ghana is also a land blessed with many rivers and water bodies. We have rivers, streams, lakes. We have the ocean. We have everything. And water is very, very important for our domestic needs. Water is important for industrial needs. Water is important for agricultural needs. Water is important for biodiversity population. Water is important even for transportation. The tunnel in our geography, I remember the tunnel was transportable up to 60 kilometers. In fact, until 1992, when I was going to seminary, I always used a tunnel. We're traveling in canoe from Jema, my hometown, about 3 hours on the tunnel to Elubo before I could get the next transportation to go to Accra. And we say that water is life. Again, Ghana is also blessed with vegetation. We have forest.
Father, wait, please. So we are still on the gold spot slide. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah.
Then maybe I need to pause and come back.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, you remember it happened to us once.
Yeah.
When it's like that, okay. So sorry for this. Okay, so do you see it now? You see the vegetation with the gold?
Great.
Do you see the back? You see the rivers?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need to repeat it. Okay, now this is where we were, and then we saw the rivers and the water bodies, and here we have our vegetation. So vegetation, why is the forest so important? In fact, all over the world, countries have earmarked certain portions of their land for forest reservation. I was very surprised when I traveled the first time to the United States in 2002 to see forests. As America has forests, I thought everywhere was built up. I was surprised to see original forest still preserved in Germany and ancient countries. So Ghana has all that it takes for a country to see itself blessed by God. We have forests, we have minerals, we have petroleum, we have rivers, we have lakes, we have ocean. So let us now look at the root causes of mining in Ghana. Traditionally, Ghana is a mining country, or Ghanaians are mining people. Researchers have shown that Ghanaians have mined for about 1,000 years. Some say 2,000, but that is exaggeration. I will go in for the 1,000 years of mining. We also have the colonial roots of mining. In fact, when the colonial people came, of course, they saw all the gold in the country, and then they wanted to take over. So to cut it short, in 1905, the British government proscribed or prohibited Ghanaians from mining. So that was when artisanal mining became illegal in the country. Why? Because the British had then already in 1885 upward, they have already started industrial mining. So based on that, they prescribed mining so that they could have the monopoly over it. So from that time, we had illegal mining. However, Ghanaians continued to mine in a very small way, using only primary and rudimentary instruments that does not destroy the land. Then we had also the structural adjustment program, which followed the last revolution of Rawlins in 1981. So 1981, 2 years later, the government saw that Ghana could not continue. We were completely running to a halt of the nation coming to an end. So they have to run to the IMF for therapy, for helping us. And what did they prescribe? They prescribed the structural adjustment program. To cut it short, the structural adjustment program came that, well, we have to retrench, there must be divestiture, there must be limit government expenditure. So what happened was that all the mining companies that were nationalized by the first government and subsequent governments were all divested to foreign companies. So these large mining companies got the big concessions, and they dislocated many rural mining companies, rural towns, apart from laying off their people. So the people had a lot of unemployment and poverty. But most of these people have the skill. They were the ones who were doing the mining. So now, instead of staying there and dying of hunger, they used their skill of mining to begin this galamsey. And that was when galamsey became popular. However, we should remember, even at that time, galamsey was only being done with rudimentary implements, mattock, axe, pickaxe, and so forth. So the government in 1989, Rawlins saw that, well, he didn't have the employment to absorb the people. We didn't have enough money to take care of them. So if these people are using their skill in a manner that does not destroy, but give employment to the people, why don't we formalize it and legalize it? And that is when ex-President Rawlins, at that time leader of the PNDC, came out with the PNDC law 218, which is known as the legalization of the SSM, that they call it the small scale mining. So that is when it became legalized. The motive and the intention was good. Let us give employment to the people, rural people. At least now they will have a formal way of even selling the gold that they find to the precious mineral markets. Then Ghana will earn. So that time it was only these people. However, as we know, time went on. Then those who got the license saw that, well, they have to maximize their profit. They have to increase their profit. So Ghanaians now getting the license, those who were in Accra, the business people came into it. They saw that it was a way of making money. Then not only using our own Ghanaian businessmen, but again, wanting more money, they will buy or get a concession and then sell it to Chinese miners. And then the Chinese miners will come in with the earth-moving machines to industrialize it. And that is what has created the mess in which we find ourselves. This is a short background to that. So where have I been? I found this in Google, so credit to Google. I come from this town called Jema, where the red spot is. So from Jema going upward or coming downward, there's a small town here. Let's go down first. So from Jema downward, we have a small town here called Ngakain that is not shown. Then after Ngakain, we have Asimkrum. That is the last town of the Awawin municipality towards the Elembele district. So from here, Asimkrum, our border between the Elembele district and the Awawin municipality is the Tano River. So there's a Tano River, which has all been devastated. Now, from the Tano, we have Cote d'Ivoire here. Coming upstream or upward, from Jema, we have Boenso, Omampe, Kwawu, Alatakrum, Kramukrum, all the towns up to Enchi have all been mined and devastated. Our pictures of Omampe, where they were inundated by the rain in June. In fact, last year it happened, this year also. And Boinso, how many people they have died? I have documents of this. At Boinso are pictures where people's cocoa were bearing, and then they uprooted the cocoa without compensating the people. I have pictures of all these things. So now, at Jema, this is how it happened. Let's see something again. So now this is the Awin municipality. Again, I generated this map from the shape files of the Ghana Statistical Service. So here, you see how the district is blessed. This area is called the Jema Asimkrum Forest. Now, within the Awin municipality, it should not even be a place to mind, because the gold spots that we have here, they are just little dots, and they are not a condensed industrial quantity that can be mined. It shows that there is gold, but just maybe at artisanal level. However, if there will be any mining at all, it's only this area, which is the Achemfo, Abuchia, Ajaka area. Now, this spot, which is Jema Asimkrum, there is not even one spot there. That is why in the petition to the president, we wrote that there isn't any commercial deposit of gold in this area. And besides, we have the forest. This is the Ankasa forest. This forest is turning to the Ankasa, coming towards the Nzima area. No, this one. Then this is another forest reserve. So you can see how many forest reserve we have in the Awin municipality. Yet all these places have been destroyed by miners. So I myself, I am a native of Jema. I am a Franciscan friar. Why is the Franciscan friar most important to me? Because St. Francis is the patron saint of ecology, declared in 1989 by Pope John Paul II, Pope Saint John Paul II. St. Francis is the only saint. We are talking about somebody who lived about over 800 years ago. And at that time, St. Francis understood that the cosmos, the way God created the world, is like one family, that we all live together. We must all live together. Of course, if we need something, use what you need. And what you don't need, why do you destroy it? So Francis will even tell the friars, don't cut a tree because you have to cut it. Of course, if you need a tree for a particular purpose, cut and plant a new one. So that is how we came to understand the world. Even animals, even snakes, St. Francis will not kill them. That the cosmos is one family. I don't want to enter you into Franciscan spirituality, but to some extent, for us, every creature is a brother or a sister. That's why you call the sun brother sun, the moon is sister moon, the rivers are sister water, the wind is brother wind, and so forth and so on, just to show that we are all interrelated. Again, my background is also that for the last 6 years, I have worked as the general delegate for the Franciscan Friars Conventual of Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation. So that is the work that we've been doing, advocating for environmental justice, advocating for people, human rights, advocating also for generations who are yet to come. So here I see that there is a need for real emancipation. We need to set our people free. Our people, the independence we have, we are not yet yielding its fruit. That's why Dr. Kwame Nkrumah once mentioned that, yes, there is neo-colonization. If you look at what is going on in Ghana, it's a form of colonization which has been imported, or we have rather imported it upon ourselves. The white man is not coming from outside, so we need to liberate our people. Then what again motivated me for this work is that there is a lot of ignorance. For me, there is one Plato, a philosopher, who says that if you know, you will do. So if anybody knows the truth and is not doing, then they are ignorant. I will not give any excuse. If people know, whoever he is, if I claim to be a professor, whatever, and I know that, yes, what I'm doing is evil, then it shows, and I'm not doing that, it shows that we are ignorant. So I see a lot of ignorance at work. I see a lot of naivety on the part of our rural people. They are naive. They don't know. So you just go and tell them, I'm going to bring you work. I'm going to bring, of course, if I am earning 500 and you tell me that you are going to give me 1,000 or even just 600, I will take it without thinking forward what is going to happen. So even their state is pardonable than those of us who have the knowledge and we are doing the wrong thing because we are ignorant. Then again, my motivation for getting involved in this work is also the cry for the voiceless. Our people are voiceless. Our people are powerless. The earth is voiceless. So we need to cry for the earth. We need to cry for the rivers. We need to cry for all the environmental bodies that God has given to us. So those people who cry for them, like what happened with the same Chrome people, thanks to Alua, supporting me, we cried for them. And now the whole country has heard their voice. So these are some motivations. I wouldn't like to repeat these pictures because Lisbeth has even more powerful ones. This is where I did my research at Hiawa, Wasa Hiawa, on the Enchi Takwa Asengwa Road. So this is River Ankobra. My research shows that River Ankobra is about 200 kilometers long. So can you imagine this river, 200 kilometers, there's not even 1 centimeter of it that has not been mined. Not even 1 centimeter. From its source to the estuary at Sangoma, everything is destroyed. This is River Tano. I wouldn't like, as I mentioned, I did a video of this, there's no need. Here, these stones, it's an area, a spot in the tunnel, which is called the Sutri Rapids. Those of us who still remember our geography, the Sutri Rapids, it's just similar to the Butri Rapids. Yeah, now I remember my geography. The Butri Rapids in the Volta, where President Nkrumah used to construct the Akosombo Dam. So in the plan of President Nkrumah, there was going to be a second dam, hydroelectronic dam in the Tano River at the Sutri Rapids. Now, these mighty stones, look at the end of it. This is a small picture as we see here. Again, this is Tano again.
This is the Tano River. The Tano is the second longest river that has 8 courses throughout the country. The first is the Volta River. So actually, the Tano is the longest river in Ghana because the Volta is shared between Ghana and the upper Burkina Faso, former upper Volta country. So you see, and there is a water that originally the color was black. And now this is the color that we have because of artisanal mining, because of illegal mining.
I wouldn't like us to waste too much time because we have a lot of it on this. Now, I'm bringing this river. Now, this is the original color of a river called the Sue, the river that runs through Enchi, from upstream through Enchi up to the Tano. I took this picture in 2019. 2 years later, it has also turned yellow. This is the original color. Just in 2 years, it has turned yellow.
So this one is the Dusue River. The Dusue is a tributary of the Tano River, the one that we saw.
So without wasting much time, let us move forward. This is another tributary of the Tano River. This is called Boyne. I did also this video. The Boyne was also originally very pure color. Now this is what has happened to the Boyne.
This is the Boyne River. Boyne is the second, I think it's the first, either the first or the biggest tributary of the Tano River in the Awin land, what is normally called the Brussels land. We have the Boyne and then the Dusue. Fortunately, the Dusue has not been destroyed, but the Boyne, all its course coming from, it also extends from Cote d'Ivoire, but the Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivorians are very wise. They have not tampered with the river. But all the course running through the Brussels land, this is the color of the Boyne.
So again, without wasting much time, so I did this in 2019. That's why I said that the Dusue had not been destroyed. So let us just move on. So now, why have people taken to destroying the very things that feed them? And here I have a strong quotation from our present Pope Francis, who says that the misuse of creation begins when we no longer recognize any higher instance than ourselves. When we see nothing else but ourselves, and that is what is happening. People are just thinking about themselves, and that is what Ephraim Amo, reflecting on the national anthem by Ephraim Amo, the man was a prophet. He says, Nimdien traso. Now today I came to understand the words very well. Nimdien traso. Too much learning. We think that we know, yet it's ignorance. And then greed and selfishness. This shows that the problem of water is partly an educational and cultural issue, since there is a little awareness of seriousness of such behavior within the context of great inequality. So people lack the knowledge or the right culture, or we have just turned blind eyes to that. But the cost of the damage caused by such selfish lack of concern is much greater than the economic benefits to be obtained. Take note. The cost by such selfish lack of concern is much greater than the economic benefits to be obtained. Now, I will not hesitate to mention Chairman Woon to me, because it's an open secret, it's all known. So imagine one person's wealth, which we can't even feel it in the country. How many industries does he in the country? How many schools, how many charitable things has this man done to merit or to compensate even the destruction of the environment, so that we can even say that at least he has done that? No. This one person, the lack of knowledge, lack of concern is far more than the economic benefits. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I just want us to look at something that should make us feel sad and maybe even cry for our country and for ourselves. Look at these pictures. Why are Chinese destroying or allowing Chinese to destroy our water bodies and our forests, particularly our water bodies? Now, I did a research. One day it just dawned on me. I said, let me see how Chinese people care for their water. And in my research, I found that in China, on their legal tender, their money, the bank notes that they use, just like we have our CDs, we have our big Cs, Kwame Nkrumah and those people, and our nice still on our CDs. In China, they show their water bodies on their currency. So on the Chinese yuan one, the Chinese yen, the first one, this is a lake. Here, these spots, they have designed in such a way that it reflects the direction of the moon. So here, the primary image on the reverse side of the one new yuan note is the three pools mirroring the moon at West Lake, a river in Hangzhou. See, in the river. We look at another one. I found this one also. This is the Chinese 5 yen. And the 5 yen here, it says the primary image on the reverse side of the new 5 yen note is the splendid view of the sunrise over a sea of clouds out Mount Tai in Shandong province. This is the mountain. And I believe that most mountains have minerals. They keep the natural environment beautiful. Again, the Chinese 10 yen, here it says the primary image on the reverse side of the new 10 yen note is a view of the famous breathtaking three gorges of the Yangtze River. So a river like Tano with the Sutri Rapids, beautiful marvelous stones, a river like Ancobra, a river like the Volta. Look at them, maintaining it, having original color. It hasn't finished. We look also at the Chinese 20 yen. The primary image on the reverse side of the new 20 yen note is a view of a fisherman on his bamboo raft floating down the Li River through the spectacular karst mountains of Gulen. So you see, my brothers, my sisters, it's all water, preserved and used for national pride, national attraction to tourism in China. And here we are, destroying, we don't blame the Chinese, destroying our own waters, our rivers that can do something more. So we look at what is happening in Ghana, in Africa. Are local communities better off with mining, with galamsey? This is a research by Punan Shuhan Pol, which I found on the IB, that is the international, the World Bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the World Bank page. And here, let me just read it. How large-scale gold mining in 3 countries, Ghana, Mali, and Tanzania, affect local livelihoods and communities. Their analysis and results conclude that, on average, mining communities experience positive yet limited welfare benefits. Some benefits appear more frequently in localities close to a mine, but these benefits are not uniform across all mining communities. Mining and mineral processing can also produce well-known negative externalities, such as environmental degradation, health risks, pressure on other scarce natural resources, and social dislocations, which can affect local community welfare. And all these risks, all these disadvantages are there. Recently, I found this already about 3-4 years ago, but recently, the Ghana Health Association has come out boldly from the pathological department in Komfo-Anokye Hospital that now these deformities in babies have become rampant. We found one already, I think 2 years ago, from Enchi area, in Sawam area. I wrote to the regional minister, I wrote to the DCE, MCE, said, look at what is happening. Well, they brush it off, so Father, it's not true. Then now things are coming. And I'm sure there are more that we need to research into it. So we ask ourselves, what sort of country are we preparing? What sort of future are we preparing for those who are to come? What sort of population? What sort of even the human resources? If we have a country of people, the future youth are all going to be debilitated, they are all going to be handicapped, then what is going to be our human resource? So my dear brothers and sisters, again, my advocacy work, now let us come right to the core. My advocacy works in Jema, in Gakai, and Asimkrum. It all started in May 2015, when one day I saw some boys smeared with mud. And when I consulted them, they told me they were beginning galamsey. I made an announcement in church, thank God I have that platform, that please, I wouldn't like that to happen in our town. Then because these people were being sponsored by big men behind, they reported me to the police at Jema that, well, something that they are doing legal because they brought the ban and nobody objected to that. So if that is going to happen, then it can be bloodshed. So quickly, they reported me to the district chief executive at that time. And then lo and behold, he had the guts to even call me before the district chief, we call the DISEC, the District Security Council. So when they summoned me, I said, yes, please, DCE. Now, you said you sent the ban to Jema. Now, can you tell me how many Ghanaians, including you yourself and myself, will read alphabets in 12-size font pasted on a wall without a picture? Let alone rural people. So if you went and posted these pictures on the wall, how many people do you think will read? So are you serving your people or you are doing them the service? So I don't agree to that ban notice. If you claim that you want to inform the people, come, I will be there. Let us read and explain to the people. If they agree, I will be one, because we are in a democracy. Majority carries the vote. Then you can go ahead. And that brought it to an end in 2015. Then 4 years later, 2019, they came again. So that time, no, let me just go back a little. So when that happened, because these people have dug about 50 feet deep into the forest, they dug 2 pits, one a little outside, then the other one right in the forest. So I wrote a letter to the forestry guard at Jema. I said, my friend, I want to make sure that you are dismissed from your job because you don't deserve your salary. you are passing here every day. How come these people have dug into the forest and you didn't complain? So, then, oh, Father, let us negotiate. We beg you. So I will make sure that they will fill the pit and that. So eventually, and then I also noticed the boys that, you know that what you have done is also against the law, because I'm going to report you, you'll be arrested. So then they came to their senses that they have offended. So they agreed that they will fill the pit and not do that again. So incidentally or miraculously, there was a heavy rainfall on June 15, 2019, the one that caused the Accra fuel station disaster. And those two pits were filled to the brim. This was a miracle in some way. So that brought that one to an end. So the second attempt in Jema was in 2019. So again in 2019, probably they knew I was out, because that time I will have been transferred to Rome in 2016 as the general delegate, as I said earlier on, for justice, peace, and integrity of creation. So I got the information about a local galamsey firm coming to meet the elders to accept galamsey. So that time I learned they have done all the groundwork. They have given enough money to the elders. They have all agreed. Father Blay or Father JB is not there. Normally they call him Father JB, as Elizabeth said. So they knew they were true. Fortunately or unfortunately for them, I was coming to Wasa Aguna Memfi for my research. So I told them to wait for me so we can hold a public debate. And then if they are able to convince the people again, they can go ahead. So I came down, and that was on January 17th. So we had a very big rally there. They came with all the promises. We are going to give you work. We are going to give you this. Then I started also coming out. But do you know you are going to destroy our river? Do you know that you are going to bring immorality? Do you know that children are not going to go to school? Do you know that you are going to destroy our land? Then after that, I asked the people, women, do you agree? No. Children, do you agree? No. Elders, do you agree? No. Everybody said no. Then I said, my friend, even the pit that you have dug for your prospecting, I am giving you an ultimatum of 24 hours to fill them before you leave. Oh, Father, we beg you, this is too short. That's okay. I give you 1 week. We go to the police station. I want you to sign an undertaking that you are going to fill them, because I was just leaving the next day. So they did that, and I inquired, that was filled. So that also brought it to a standstill for the time being. Until 2 years later, that is, if you follow the sequence, that has been always the paradigm, and their modus operandi. They come to disturb the water, and then they will retreat, and then come. Of course, knowing that Ghanaians, we are just euphoric people. That is, as we say. So don't worry, so they knew that, oh, this Father, you'll be tired. So it was a strategy. So they came again. This is the third time. So this time, on Saturday, April 9, 2022, they came again to Jema, but the youth have given me a very big support. So because Jema can say that 99% were convinced, have been convinced. So now they arrested their own people. These are 8 people from Jema, 2 people from Achimfo, one of the mining areas, and then 1 Chinese. The Chinese was arrested standing by the river. They quickly sent them to the police commander, the police station at Jema, who did very well. Then they arranged the case to be sent to Enchi. Unfortunately, when they went, the Jema people testified that, oh, the Chinese was not involved. And then the 2 men who were not citizens were just their friends. So they were thinking that being Jema people, eventually the case would die just like that. And of course, I thought also that it involves money. So then the Chinese would be the one to sponsor. So when I got that, this is 9th, on the 11th, of April, I wrote a very strong letter to the police commander. I have copies of all this. And I wrote to the commander that we are afraid of all the accusations, police involvement and this, but I commended them for the good work that they are doing, knowing that sometimes they have forces beyond them. However, we were following this case with international antennae. So that also scared them a little. So then they called the case on Tuesday, April of 12th, and their first appearance in court, they were tried and given remand. So that took about 8-9 days. They appeared again on April 21st, where they were given bail. So they were bailed, and then they were supposed to report every week at Enchi. Remember, from Jema to Enchi, that takes about more than 1 hour, and it costs about 50 cedis per person. So that was a very big weight upon them. But the thing was that now with the letter, they didn't know my next action. So they were waiting to see what was happening. But then it was also a very big moral decision, because no, these are native people. The real sponsors are outside. And these guys, the minimum is about 15 years, maximum 25 years. So I prayed the Lord, asking for discernment to see what to be done. So there was the formal application. So within this time, even these corporates did not just repent of what was going on. So they knew that, or probably they told them, don't worry, this is just the first attempt. You will be even heroes at the end. So they started recruiting people. So they started recruiting the youth, baiting them with big money. Oh, don't worry, Father is outside, we are the one here. So they got some, but unfortunately, some of my own people, those that I trusted them, were really against it, recorded them, which I have. They didn't know, and I never let them know that I have all these things. So they quickly, within that month or 3 months, formed a new company. They formed 3 companies within that time. They were the same people. So now they came back in July, presenting a formal application for concession of Jema land. And God is always with me and with the people. During that time, in July, I was in Jema for a meeting, a Franciscan meeting in Ghana. So I got the information that, the DCE has sent a letter that they are coming to mine in Jema, of course, because of the misinterpretation. So I called the DCE, the MCE now. Then, so Father, it's not true, but as I am a government representative, so when I get these letters, I cannot keep them. I sent the letter and they have to respond. So then I called the chief, and the chief said, Father, that is true. But we told the teacher to respond, and the teacher said, he's the scholar and the secretary. So, Father, since we have not written any application, we saw that it was not important. I say, my friend, that is not a matter. So I quickly drafted the letter. I say, you now take this letter, sign it, and send it to the DC. So I paid for that. I said, it has to be as fast as possible. I hired a motorbike for them, which was 100 Ghana cedis in and out. I said, give it hand delivery to the DC. So that stopped the first one. Now, there were 2 more objections. So after the first one, 2 more. One was DSO, the second one was DSO, and that was Glory, something mine. They were all fictitious. When I went to the net, they were not even existing. So again, this time I was at Jema. So we drafted 2 new letters, and then I sent that. Now, these letters were also given to Ingakain. So all along, the attraction was on Jema and Ingakain, the nearby village, which is just 1.5 kilometers from Jema. So on my way, let me just tell you what happened also. So this time, 31st, I finished our meeting on 31st July. So on the 1st of August, I traveled to Jema, and look at how strict my itinerary in Jema was. I moved from Salt Pond to Jema on the 1st, no, Takoradi to Jema on the 1st. And on the 1st, while on the way to Jema, I stopped at Ingakain. And I asked the people, have you received such a letter? They said, yes. Have you responded? They said, no. Any problem?
Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah, continue.
Okay, good. So I stopped on the way while going to Jema, and I asked the Ngakain elders. They said, Father, we have received, but we have not reacted. We don't know how to do it. I said, don't worry, I'm going to draft the letter for you. So immediately I got to Jema, I drafted their letter for the first one to object. Then when I arrived at Jema, the very day, I thought of meeting these culprits. So I met the eldest of them. And I told him, my friend, this thing that you have done is not between you and Father Jema. Yeah, tell them to mute themselves. To mute themselves. So it's between you and the nation. So I explained the law to them. I said, this is what you have done. If you have repented and you are ready to fill the pits and then retreat from this thing, I can apologize on your behalf to the public because you have offended also the public. Then I said, oh, Father, yeah, but now how do we do it? I said, can you convince the other group? Then later on, I thought like I should even meet them myself. So on the 2nd of January, of August, then on the 2nd, that's my second day at Jema, I met all the elders and told them what we are going to do, to meet the public and sign the concord, write a letter to the president. I had crafted all of these, and then also send an objection to the new ones that have come, and then read also this objection to the public to know. So on the 3rd, I went to Asimkrom, which is the next town, to explain to them what is coming, because they had not received the letter when the application when I inquired. But I told them, Galamsey is coming, and if you accept it, it has all these woes for you. Simcro was not too united. There were just few people who were very vociferous, and they almost caused commotion. And normally, my key is to look for peace. So I told them to reflect later, and then I'll come back. Then on the 3rd of August, there was a big meeting. I met the culprits and I convinced them. Then later on they came, oh, Father, anyway, we did this as a kind of civil disobedience because the elders have been moving around secretly to collect money from Galamsey operators in deep forest as well. If you go by civil disobedience, then you should be also ready for the punishment. Are you ready to go in for 15 years minimum, 25 years maximum? So what do we do? If you are sorry, I can apologize on your behalf and then plead that the public will forgive you. So we met on the 4th. That was a big meeting, more than 2,000 people. The whole community met. To cut it short, on that day, now because already I've said that we have met in 2019. So what we did is just to reenact the concord, which was informal. So that day, it was not like whether you agree or not. We have agreed already. So I read a letter that we have crafted, both in English, in Awin, the local Brussels language, and then in Twi, explained to everybody. Then we said we are going to send a letter also to the president to be signed by as many as possible people, read in the 3 languages. Then we read also the objection, signed by all the stool owners of the land, and then by representatives of the various sectors, such as the, let's say, Ngumahene, Prafrahene, Christian Council, Muslim community. So all these sectors of the community signed the letter. At the end, we had more than almost 300 signatories to the letter to the president. So these were signed, and I EMS each one. I spent about 400 Ghana cedis just for the EMS letters alone. I have the email, I have the receipt and everything to the EMS letters. So on the 5th, I went to Enchi to distribute those ones at hand. I met the police commander, I met the MC, I met all the important people and gave them to them at hand and then let them sign that they have received the letters. On the 11th of August, then we mounted a billboard, big one, right at the brow of the hill of Jema. So as when you are entering Jema from Enchi side, the first thing you see is Jema no Galamsey. Jema no Galamsey. So that is the victory that we won in Jema. Now, after the Jema victory, my thing is not moving. Okay. So from this, good. After the Jema victory, what has happened? We can see that we have, in summary, we have 3 objections to 3 companies within this short time. We have written a letter to the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. Jema has had also the Jema Concord. And then there was a follow-up. Asemkro people, after I left, they wrote to me that, Father, now they are coming because they know they cannot enter Jema in Ngakai. And Asemkro, when I left, they were divided. Some of the elders were almost full. And thanks to 2 young boys, one called Kajo, and then the other one means that they did very, very well. Stood up and said, Father, help us as you did help Jema. So I said, well, if you can get me the signatories. So they went house to house. I said, we want to prove to the president or to the mineral commissioner that we are not dealing with ghosts. So let everybody sign with his or her ID card number to show that these are living souls. And the boys did very well. They got over, I think, 264 signatories. So we prepared that letter, sent it to the Mineral Commission Chief Executive, a petition giving 20, yes, I think there are 20 reasons why a Simchrome should not be given for mineral concession. And that is how Elizabeth came in, and then Elizabeth connected me to the Metro TV, and the Metro interviewed, and this thing has gone nationwide. And I think that there's more that we can even do. So, my dear brothers and sisters, in this work, what are the essential tools for effective anti-galamsey advocacy? So from my experience, if you want to do this advocacy, and I like the term, we are advocates. We are not activists. You know, activists sometimes can be violent, it can be political, but in advocacy, we are speaking for people. As I mentioned, the voiceless, the earth, the rivers, those who are yet unborn. So we don't need to cause any harm, any violence. The thing should be peaceful. So how do we do this peacefully? The first tool that for me I have used is the legal framework. We must know the legal framework, or if we are being involved to be effective. So here I have studied thoroughly the Ghana Mineral and Mining Act 2006, Act 703. I have studied its amendment to the Mineral Act, Amendment 900, and then the second amendment, Amendment 995. So know the legal framework so that when you are writing the letter, in all my letters, I quote them, that I'm not doing anything strange. It's what we have paid people to go and do in the parliament to work hard for us. It's what we are using. So when you know the legal framework, you are working within its parameters. The second thing that we must know, the second tool, is to seek public forums for education about galamsey. And for me, that is what I always do. When I go down there, I always try to meet the people. Of course, being a priest, my first forum is the church. But sometimes I even go to the mosque. In Jema, when I want to meet the people, I go to the mosque. I find a way to talk to them. I'm a friend to everybody. In the market square, I find a way to talk to the people. And then even the youth, sometimes those that we think that they are maybe riffraffs, or those that we think they are troublesome, go there. You know, last time, just in August, this August, when I went home, I visited the youth who live in the ghettos. You know what happened in the ghetto. I went there and they were really surprised. When I went there, they were smoking their thing. I said, oh, just one petition. If you can just stop smoking it while I'm here, that's okay, Father. And one was, Father, we can't believe, we are so impressed that you have come here. And I began educating them, telling them what they say. I said, look, do you know that even that day when we met, people paid you to come and cause trouble? I said, yes, Father. I said, when you did that, if you were arrested, do you think that those who paid you will go with you? No, Father. So you bring them to reason. So we must find a way to educate the people. And I think that is the first thing we need to do. So the occasions that we have, let's seek the forums and then try to educate them. If it is galamsey, anything that we are doing advocacy to educate the public. As I mentioned, ignorance is the most severest disease. Then another approach is also our chief and elders, like it or not. As Jesus said, the scribes and the Pharisees occupy the seat of Moses. So listen to what they say, but don't do what they do. So they are like our scribes, the scribes and the Pharisees. They are occupying the chief of the elders. Our ancestors were not like that, like Moses. Our ancestors were very respectable. They will die to protect their land. Today is not. So let us find a way to pull them out of their ignorance and selfishness. So I go to them. I always give them the first respect. When I go before meeting the public, I'll go to them first, talk to them first. and then tell them what is coming. So once you commit them in public, they cannot say, Father, we didn't say that, because they will betray you. That, hey, I met you and you said this. Why are you doing that? So we must find a way to convince them and then to also commit them and give them the respect that they need. The fourth tool that we need in the advocacy is to know the local culture and traditional wisdom. So no matter what we study, if we have studied to whatever level and we lack that traditional wisdom, we will always fail. That's why Dr. Kwame Nkrumah once mentioned that there is difference between knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. So if you have all the knowledge, all the intelligence that we have, this one anybody can cram. But how do you translate that into the local culture? And that is what I did when I met the elders of the corporate. I just met him before his eldest sister and a friend, and I narrated using our local wisdom, proverbs here and there. And by the time I finished, the guy was toothless. So we must know our culture, our traditional wisdom to handle these things. Then now we move out. Let us also have the link up to networks like Lisbeth and the Ghana Environmental Advocates have done. So there is the Ghana Environmental Advocates, there is the African Network for Environmental Justice, there is even in Southern America, they have formed the network together. Here in how do I put it? It's in Italian, I'm trying to translate it. So together they have their Justice and Peace unit. So linking them together, sorry, we even have the Vatican, the Vatican, the dicastery for integral human development. So we must also have these networks so that when the local advocacy fail, we let them know that Ghana is no land is island. So Ghana has its sovereignty, but what happens in Ghana can affect other countries. As Cote d'Ivoire warned Ghana that the way you people are tampering with the river, remember that the Abe Lagoon is between you and us. The Bia is shared between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. Tano is shared between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. So Ghana cannot claim that I harm the Tano or I treat it the way I like, because the Tano is not for Ghana alone. So when Ghana is not going by her internal sovereignty, Ghana can be brought also to the International Court of Justice. We must let our people know that we have these rules, we have these laws. Good. Then those of us who are dealing also with the environmental advocacy, we must also have integrity and selflessness. We must be people of integrity. Because what is happening in this country is a lack of integrity. You hear people making noise, trying to fight for people, that all of a sudden they are quiet. Why? Because somebody has gagged them. When we are gagged, our mouth is full. We can no longer back or bite. So we must be people of integrity. So stand for your value. If even at the point of imprisonment or whatever, stand for it. Yes. Then we must be selfless people. Selfless people. I don't do this because as a Catholic priest, excuse me, personally, I don't think there is much I need. But I am doing this for people, for posterity, for the people who are living there and poor. Then another tool that we need is also to consult experts. So get people who are well dealt in this area. If you are writing maybe a legal letter, get the lawyers, good ones, let them advise you. So that when you come out with a document, whoever reads it will not find any fault of it. So we need also to consult. If it's something about economy, something about the politics, at least there are people, even within there are people who are not happy about what is going on. Get them involved. They may not show themselves publicly, but they can be of support. And then one thing I'll mention is that we must avoid politics. We are not politicians, and we are not doing politics. What is going on in Ghana? That is why sometimes I get upset when I hear something from the other political parties. So the president has done. It's not party A or B, both of them. Now we have two parties in Ghana. If you read my dissertation, I have quotations here, valid researches that tells you what happened when the NDC was in power. When the NDC was in power, MPP was all against Galamsey. When MPP is in power, NDC is all against Galamsey. When both were in opposition, they give promises to Galamseyers. It's all documented here. So it's not A and B. So we must be very neutral, very neutral. And if you want to lambash any political party, bring out two sides. If you talk about MPP, say that you also did this, not because you are in power, but the best thing, if we don't have that balance, that critique, then let's keep out of politics, because anything that you say, if it's not balanced, people can skew it. Politicians can just pick on that and then use it against the other, trying to coach you. But if you have something critique and you are talking about the two sides, then there they are quiet. So politics is very important to be avoided. Then the last thing, the last tool that I would mention here, which I've used, is that be a person of prayer and meditation. I'm a Catholic priest. I'm a Catholic, a Christian. Now I know that we are free people. It's not a forum to evangelize you or proselytize you, but whatever religion that you belong, I believe that all religions embrace prayer and meditation. There's always a belief in the super being, a superior person that operates or that rules all of us. So let us believe in that, because the more we pray, the more we meditate, the Spirit of God will always direct us, because what we are doing is being done in the name of God and for God and for his people. So these are tools that I have found very useful in this work. And I think as advocates, environmental advocates, it will help us. So first of all, know your legal framework, seek public forums for education about this Galamsey environment, accord chiefs and elders the respect they deserve, know your local culture and traditional wisdom, link up to networks, be people of integrity and selflessness, and consult experts, avoid politics, and be a person of prayer and meditation. Good. So in conclusion, what happened here, or what I want us to think about, is that we as elites, the enlightened people in our communities, we owe our people. We owe our people. I always feel sad when I go back and see the stream, the little river that we used to go there with bucket, fetch and come home, now is destroyed. So it's that river, the water from that river. I'm not talking about the what they believe in it, but God gave us that water. So the stream, the water there is what makes me what I am, because I have to drink from it. So we owe our people. So let the elites light shine. As we said, let your light shine. So you cannot maybe brighten the whole Ghana, but in that little corner, And then in conclusion, also, as I've mentioned, there is the international court actions, if necessary. In our advocate, we should intimate, let the government know that what we are doing is not going to end there. If there's the need, we must move upward. And then those on the ground need support with accountability. So sometimes, as I said, I use my own leave allowance. Recently, I spent about 500 Ghana cedis for the same group people, over 500 for the Jema people, but I don't mind. It's not everybody who have that. But then those who also need support, we have to be accountable. Even my own pocket money that I use, I have an account for that. I keep all the receipts just for future records. So my dear brothers and sisters, I think maybe we can end here. And if there's the need, there's more that I wanted to share even on my research, but probably I will open to questions so that next time we can also listen to that again. I wanted us to look at this, but already we have sung it. But let's look at the translation. It's the first time that I've seen the translation of Yenada Assassini. This is our own native land. What a priceless heritage. Acquired with the blood our ancestors shed for us. It is now our own turn to continue what our ancestors started. Bragging of educational achievement, nimdien traswo, or useless greed for material things and bad lifestyles are destroying our nation and disgracing it. I think we should pause here. This is prophetic utterance. If Remamu was a prophet, I think I will see him as a prophet. Bragging of educational achievements. So with all our achievements, look at what is happening to our environment, and we are looking on. Useless greed. All those who are destroyed, they are not the hungry people. They are not even rich. They are billionaires. And bad lifestyles are destroying our nation and disgracing it. Thank you. Let me pause for here. God bless you. I'm done.
I'm trying to unmute, and then you can unmute and let's show you.
Osofo, we thank you very much. You have really encouraged us. We thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I stop sharing now?
Yes, you can.
Beautiful idea, and then the action taken. God really richly bless you.
Thank you.
Yes. I knew that once you heard him, you would know why I am just over the moon to have met this man. And the things he shared with us are very practical things. He's shown us how he practicalized what he had studied and his, advantage as an educated person within his community. He went there, he saw that things were not right. And, this thing we're doing is not just one and done. You can see from the series of things that happened that you have to be consistent. You have to love your people enough to do that, to give yourself to that cause. But at the end of the day, I think it's been worth it, because if with all the knowledge you watch your community destroy itself, then we are as culpable as the people who are doing the destruction. So Father, it's my mind is blown. Now it's open. Let's open the line for anybody interested in, or who has any questions or any comments, so that we can take that. So you can unmute yourself. If you want to ask a question, raise hand, and then I will let you mute and you can talk. So Kwaku, yeah.
Right. So this is Kwaku. First of all, I want to thank you, Elizabeth, and I want to thank Aula Sarah for reminding me, because as usual, one has got a lot of things happening. And Aula Sarah not reminded, because I think I saw something about this event, but at the moment I'm supposed to be on another Zoom. So Aula Sarah reminded me to attend this Zoom I might not have. I'm very, very glad that I did, because this man, in fact, I've been tweeting and telling people to go on the Facebook to watch it. We've been doing this work on Galamsey for a while, but I think what he's doing is just fantastic, and a lot of people need to know about what he's doing. So Elizabeth, I have to thank you for creating this forum for however many people are on this meeting tonight, to have heard the father, break it down. And he needs encouragement. He needs encouragement, because this is fearless work. This is what is robust in the sense that he's learned the legalities of the mining laws, to be able to articulate and deal with the stakeholders that we need to deal with on a certain level. So I don't want to hog it. All I want to say is that congratulations to Elizabeth, congratulations to the father for the work he's doing, and we need to support him with both prayers and materially. If you don't mind me saying so on the platform, Father, I know you people don't get that much money, and you putting your personal money into doing this thing is a passion That's what we also do. But do you know what? We'll talk off this Zoom because I'd like to support you financially just for the work that you are doing. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kwaku. Yes, it's mind blowing. Ejaname.
Yes. Oops.
Yes, Ejaname, you there? I think we lost him. Nana Yao, your hand is up.
Okay. Elizabeth, thank you. And thank you, Father Joseph. Is it Father Joseph?
Yes,
Father
Father Joseph.
Okay, Father Joseph, thank you very much.
People call me JB.
Yeah.
Okay, Father Joe, let me call you Father Joe. My
Whichever,
father was called Joseph, and he cut it to Joe, so I'll call you Father Joe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's really, I feel very good listening to you today because me and Elizabeth, we've been on this issue for a long time. At times we've been dragging our hair, pulling our hair off our head. My bald hair has got little ones and I'm pulling it out. And it's really good. I mean, at times I feel so angry that you talk about it and people in Ghana are quiet.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm far away. I'm in UK and you people are in Ghana seeing what is happening and people are quiet because their party is in government. And I've talked. Last week, some people approached me that, look, now, let's do a demonstration. I said, let's go ahead. And we got the permit and we are going to go on the streets on the next month, on the 18th. I put it on the platform. And these are little, because it's like we've talked and people are not concerned. It's these illnesses that is going. I met one Spanish doctor. I went for a medical last month. And this guy told me that he was in Ghana in the 90s, 1991 to 96. In Takwa, exactly, he was sent to Takwa to go and work for the mines. And he saw a lot of illnesses that is not normal in the 90s. So he started doing his own research. You know, white people are very, this thing, they always want to know why. And he realized that they were all from the communities where the mining was going on. But that time, I mean, for the job he was there doing, they wouldn't even, he told his bosses they wouldn't even do it because the white people is like, he was sent there to look after the expats. So they were not bothered about the locals. And I was like, in the 90s, I never thought even in the 90s, these things were going on. Yeah. So it means that a lot has been going on because we as a people, we don't even do research. So now, with the little we've been doing online with Elizabeth and others, we are finding out so many things. So as for the education there, we need to educate our people because they are the ones struggling. I mean, some of us can decide that we won't go and live in Ghana again, but still we've got relatives there. We've got friends there. We've got loved ones there. So we can't deny them. So we just have to do something till they learn and stand up and fight for their rights. Because water is life. The land, the food is being contaminated. You see, you can stay in your Accra and Takrady and think, oh, it will affect me. But you go and eat cassava from Enche or Bogoso or whatever, and you get infected. So it's time we do something about this. And I will encourage all of us, those of us abroad, we can't wait till we get to Ghana. We've got embassies around the countries we are staying in. Let us organize ourselves. 5, 10, 20 people. Just go and stand there 1 hour and make noise, present a petition, and that is it. We have done. And we also send our petitions to international bodies because now we have to take them on because these people don't care. All they are interested in is money. So I really appreciate your time and efforts and hope that we'll meet one day and continue from there. Thank you very much, Asofo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanaya. Did Janami come back? If not, anyone else? Paul's iPhone.
Yeah, thank you, Amolu. It's been a while. We've not had some of these things. And I think my first answer, I would like to, turn it to Father for taking his time, to come and then share this thing with us. Some of his research that he's done, they are quite, intriguing. And it's some of those things we are aware, but we are not aware of the data. Because sometimes when some of these things are provided with the data, then it goes, when people are looking at it, because sometimes, so this river and cobra is this, is that, you think it's river and cobra alone. And then giving us, let's say, the length of the Ankobra is, we know that how it's causing, there's some serious issues there that we need to consider. The one unfortunate thing is that, as my brother said, those of us here, well, we are not affected by this, but we've got parents, brothers, and, relatives back at home. And some of us, one day, we decided we want to retire there. And some of these things are worry to us. So we tend to fight. But I think our biggest hurdle is, our leaders back at home, especially our chiefs. I'll mention it. See, sometimes they think we are trying to take their authority from them or what, I don't know. But I think is we want to, for the good of Nzimala, that's why we are all doing this. Please, we are not taking any of your authorities. No. Because
this is more than Nzima. This is the broader Ghana. So.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's true. That's for the broader Ghana. And we are not trying to take any authority from anybody. It's just that we are trying to help. And I'm sure we've got expertise amongst us who can advise. And that's what I always plead with them, that they should take advantage of the expertise of those in diaspora and Ghana as well, so that we can fight. Because you might know, you might have the authority, but not necessarily the expertise and the knowledge of what is going on. I mean, I've not met Father before. This is the first time. But from his presentation, you can see that, look, he's got a lot under his sleeve, which he can use for Ghana. But then look at the hurdles he's coming against. You see, after a while, he doesn't get any pay for it, but he's doing it for the good of Ghana. So I would say that, Father, our biggest hurdle is this: if you can get somebody, or if you can get a breakthrough with our chiefs and Nananom, please, if you can get somebody to, because I know people have tried, and it's like, no, it's not like that. Yes, those of us sitting here, we can see more than probably you can see. So that's why we get worried and come. So, Father, it's another assignment I want to give to you. Our biggest hurdle is our Uramo. If you can get, to convince them that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. in my dissertation, you can get a copy from ProQuest. Unfortunately, I didn't have money to print many, so okay. I did a few. So ProQuest has a copyright, which you can ask for hard copy or even download it.
Okay, I can download it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you the address. But then, in my recommendation, one of the approaches I did is to go to the National House of Chiefs,
yes,
go to the Regional House of Chiefs, go to the district ones, and that is why I have started from a listen. That I keep on saying we must know the law. I have read also the Chieftaincy Acts.
Yes.
A lot of our chiefs have forgotten that Ghana is a nation.
Yes.
They have submitted their sovereignty to the national sovereignty.
Yes.
When they need something, they turn to the government. But when the government also asks them, apply the law, but we are the chief of this. So you need to educate them. Anytime I go to Enchi, I go to the Omahine. Sepa says, I started moving for about 20 years. I go there to greet them. It just costs one wine. It's very easy. When I'm going, I buy a bottle of wine. Just go there. Once you win then you start talking to them.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the approach. So we shouldn't go to them. Yeah, we shouldn't go to them with also fighting, but create the environment for dialogue. So that is my plan. In fact, I intend to go as far as to the National House of Chiefs with the dissertation.
Okay, thank you very much. If you could do that for us, we appreciate it, because some of us, we are saying, we go there, we do that, even with the wine and that, but then some of us will not even have the time, because so far, they don't want to know you.
Yes, and the ones who come from abroad, they want money.
Yes, which is very sad. So thank you very much, and we shall continue liaising with you, and then contacting you, and then working with you to fight for a better Ghana. Thank you very much.
We must. Thank you very much. Okay, come everywhere.
Oh, Baflamen Dede.
From
Paul and Dede. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and a note as well that we've sent a letter to the National House of Chiefs Secretariat asking for an opportunity to meet with the House of Chiefs to tell them what it is, why we are concerned, and what we expect of them. So hopefully we get that. But that was just before the president met them. So I think it's getting to them that they have a role to play. They are custodians, and they have to do their custodian role. Play that role. Okay. Sister Nana.
Well, thank you. First of all, a big thank you. I'm echoing the thanks to Father JB for what you've done, and for Sister Elizabeth for hosting this. I have two sort of comments. First of all, thank you for in a sense, it's a 101 on how to be an advocate and how to make a difference. Because a lot of people are working in silos, and it's also good to hear what is going on. Because too often we see the negative images and we don't see the successes. And I think all activists, and I'll say activists because some of us are activists as well as advocates, because activists also has the positive part to it. So the activists and advocates have been working sometimes in silos and think, like in the Bible, they think they're the only one. And in a way, it's by opening people's eyes to say that, look, God has many other advocates doing the work, but we need to join hands. So, but the 2 points I made, seeing the state of the rivers. First of all, what remedial action can we take? And it might not necessarily be you, but how we can do it with people who are qualified, who understand what to do. And the second thing, how can we give our young people an alternative income? Because again, if they had an income, they wouldn't be engaging in this rubbish. So it's the two things. It's how do we carry out remedial action? Because again, after filling in the pits is one thing, but one of the things is that in the practice, they use these damaging metals, these poisonous metals, and those are the things that are causing the birth defects. So how do we clean up the environment? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If I can come in here, our time is so short, so I couldn't bring in everything. When I met those boys, those who live in the ghettos, because they were the ones who were recruiting, trying to convince them we are bringing a job and this. Then I explained to them that I know that your situation is forced upon you by some social circumstances. I don't think you mean to smoke this thing or take in. When I went to my first research at Wasa Agona Memfi, they were telling me, Father, if you see us dazed and looking old, no, we are just under 20, sometimes 25, but we look more than 58 because everybody is dazed with this, they call it tramadol. Yes. And when Jema, when I interviewed the boys, they were telling me, Father, one tramadol costs 3 cedis. And to take enough that will keep you will be about 3, that is 9. And then there are some who can take 5, that is already 15. So if you are paid a day's wage of 20, you are left with 5. They were converted. So I said, now tell me something that you can do. So I proposed an alternative job for them, which I wanted them to go into fish farming. So let them dig and then create a pond. All these things they will do physically. And then we get a fish. Now, tilapia even earns more than cocoa. I learned every 3 months, if they are fed very well, every 3 months you can harvest. So that is the project that I'm working at. But I didn't see this forum somewhere. So if some of you have even agencies that we can write to, I'll prepare. I like accountability. I'm a Catholic priest. So I like accountability and responsibility. I'll prepare the project, come out with all that it's involved. And normally when I'm doing projects, I want them to contribute on their part. So things that they can do physically, I say, we don't need to pay you for this. Now you dig, everything comes in, or I can even quantify your labor. So that can even be a source of employment. So I can quantify all this and prepare this project. And if there are some agencies that we know of, I think that can also be a way of alternative employment for the people.
That's excellent. And then the second question was, how do we get the
how do we reclaim the lands? In terms of the river is very, very complicated, because if we have let's take the Ankobra, which is 200 kilometers. So the Ankobra is, I know our Kan people in general live along rivers. Ankobra is shared probably to be another research to look at how many communities live along the Ankobra. So if we are about 300 communities living along the river, if even one community destroys its upstream, it affects all the 299 down. So this one, you need a real government effort to come in and ban. If you get about 5 or 6 to say, now we will stop, then at least that can maybe halt the pollution at a certain point. Now, those in the area, the little streams like in Jema, all our streams are still having their pristine nature, because those ones are only by the people. But the buoyant that is shared, the dosue that is shared, is very, very difficult. What we're going to do, Jema, had this not come on, we're going to take upon ourselves to cause civil arrest, to even go to Boenso and arrest the people, because for me, I'm using the law. The law says that don't mine in the river. So whether you are mining on Jema territory or Boenso territory, we can still arrest you and then prosecute you, send you to the court. So we have to use the civil arrest. If the police and other people are being controlled by the politicians, we use the civil arrest. And when the civil arrest comes, we resort to the international links as we have. In terms of the land filling, some of them, in fact, in my research, I think the cost of filling Ghana land is about $32 billion or something. It's a huge amount. Yeah, if you read my work, you see. It's a huge amount. Look at what Wontumi has done. If you just take all the gold that he has earned to fill, it will be less than that. So that's why the community cannot do it. One person cannot do it. It costs the country, and the country is going to cost. Already we are even struggling to eat. So the damage that they have caused it's just unquantifiable. So we can only work at a small scale level. Some of the small pits, like the ones in Jema, I made sure that they fill it. When they are not filling, we can even organize communal labor and then fill it. But the large scale ones is really very difficult.
Thank you.
Somebody has a contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you gave us two things. Helping them with alternative livelihoods, yes. And then the citizen arrest. I'm very interested in it, because sometimes we are so helpless. You see something happening, the people will bring to your attention, they will tell the police, they will tell whoever, and they are not interested. So that's something we can do, right? We can cause the arrest of people, but where do you take them? Because if the police is not forthcoming.
When you take them to the police and they know that this is a civil arrest, they are scared, because they know that there's a power, there's somebody enlightened behind them. Mm-hmm. Probably that is how I succeeded in Jema, because they knew that all that was going on, I was behind. And most of them know me. I don't hide. And when I write my letters, I sign, and I show them where it's coming from.
Great. Maybe also some of the success you got was because you are a priest, and people really, have that respect. But we can tap into your anointing, and also if you can let your fellow priests know, like let them see what you've done, the success story there, and they should do it in their communities too.
Exactly. In fact, I think in my interview with Metro, I mentioned that. I mentioned that the time has come where we must go beyond the pulpit.
Yeah. Thank you. Ejanami, you're back now.
Yes, I'm back. Ghanaians, they say they have what they call what is it? Satan is a liar. The moment you call my name, my phone just went dead. But no, nothing will stop me because I've been looking forward to this presentation since the past 4 or 5 days. So even yesterday, I thought I had missed it because I'm currently in Kinshasa. I got in yesterday evening, and I've been following all along. I was called, and then all of a sudden the phone froze because my power was down. Quickly grabbed my iPad, and I don't remember the dialing number. I just went down to somebody's room, knocked them, they looked at my face, speaking in French, want me to say, I say, look, phone, charge. I got 1 minute, got back, and then found the number, and I called in. But I have to say, man, Father, I mean, it's so wonderful, and I think it's the best presentation that I've listened. I'm somebody who don't have patience to listen to people's emotion, but this time, I tell you, you got my heart, you got my emotions, and I think you've given us a lot of stuff. We thank you very much. We appreciate it. And I also tell Elizabeth that you are wonderful. Sometimes we want to give up, but we continue to see the good thing. This particular presentation is going to rejuvenate us. And some of us will even, when we go home, we're just going to go talk to some of these. All the tactics, very, very great. And we really thank you for that. The one thing that I want you to say is that with your success story, for Father JB, how can we replicate it? At least even the Western region or Western Northern or Northern Western region, at least to that level, because 2 or 3 of our rivers go through that region. And if we can solve it, how can we go beyond Jema and Asemprum and then Kana expand it? That's my question. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. So I think the first thing, if there's a native from that area, that's why I said, if I'm even thinking of an article, that the role of the elites or the local elites in fighting against Galamsey. Because, I did one documentary recently, somebody put it on our group, the Environmental Advocates, where I found a piece of the Enchi Asankrigwa Road. It was one of the best roads built by in Kufuor's time. It was inaugurated by, I think, Mahama. And you wouldn't believe part of the road has been dug underneath by Galamsey and caved in. I heard of it about 6 or 7 months ago, almost a year, when I was here. I wrote it. When I wrote immediately to the regional minister that this is what I'm hearing. How is it? He didn't do anything. So when I went back, I said, take me to this side of the road. And somebody drove me there. And I took a video, make a documentary. And normally I've been doing it even quietly. I don't publicize much. Then I gave it to somebody, they put it on the YouTube, and then it went viral. And within a short time, to cut it short, now this road has been repaired. But the question is, put politicians aside. We have doctorate holders in the place. Enchi is not a small town. We have lawyers. We have people living in Accra, enlightened people. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So one of our problem now is, well, if I'm comfortable, it doesn't matter. And I keep on telling my people, I'm a Franciscan friar. I can choose to live and die anywhere. Even if I die in Ghana, I will not be buried in Jema. If I fall sick, they will come and take me away. So why should I worry? But I think that would be wicked on my part. That would not be evangelical. So those of us who have been enlightened, who by grace we have moved out of it, we must help to enlighten our people. Otherwise, what we have done is nothing. So that is one of the process. So when you have the local people, then let them start, then we share with them, because you need the basics. Because I cannot just move to the other towns in the Enchi area when they started. When they were about to come, I went there. I always relate to the people. Before the Galamsey came to Boyensu, the next time before Jema, that was 20 1917, I went to the chief. I said, Nana, this is what I'm hearing. And the chief was even a graduate. This is what I'm hearing that is coming. Are you going to allow it? Oh, Father, no, when you are saying, before I realized, they deposed that chief and then brought in the new one. And then they started, the town was divided. And when the town is divided, you don't have the local people. Because when I go, my time is short. But when I have people there to work on the ground, then I can motivate them and then work behind. So we need the local people, that both the local elite and then those who are on the ground to work with.
That's 100%. And even recently, Ajaka, so we got one of the youth there informed me that this is what is going on. Can you help get our voice out there? And through the campaign that we did and some other people calling on I think, Father, you were involved as well, calling on the MCE, yes, and all that.
Yes.
Ejaka has also, at least the Galamsey that is halted right now. And this was something that the chief was in on it. If I'm told his 10-acre cocoa farm, he sold it to them. So 5 acres is already mowed down. They were about to start mining in the Agio River, Agio stream. And that is what broke the camel's back, and the young people started reaching out. So the latest I have from there is that because we put their voice out there, you know, they have brought out all the excavators, and now they have stopped, at least for now. So again, all it took was someone calling for help or someone putting the pictures out there. We can't just look on for at this point. We have to all be activists, advocates, whatever you call it, but we all have to be doing something. And now we have all the tools that Father has so kindly shared with us. There's a question here that's a little bit of it's a little bit controversial, so it's up to you whether you want to answer or not. As a minister, what is the Reverend's view on the church's call for a week of prayer and fasting regarding the Galamsey menace?
Good. Yeah, I just saw that also. You know, in Ghana, we are quite superstitious, and we think that prayer is once you pray, then everything. But prayer, St. James, the same Bible tells us that faith without action is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So the faith must go with action. I told you, I pray and meditate, and God tells me what to do. Mm-hmm. So after praying and God telling me what to do, and I sit down, then what is the essence of my prayer? So with that, but recently, you know, what happened after that? What next? You know, I told Lizzie that I prepared an article on even the role of the ministers. What are we doing? If we should have time to go into detail. Part of this Galamsey menace, I'm a priest. I'm a Catholic priest. I'm a Franciscan. Should be blamed also on the church. I mean here the church, the Christian body.
Mm-hmm.
The Christian body is promoting the gospel of prosperity. Who doesn't want to prosper? Who doesn't want to show that God has blessed? And then when those people bring the Galamsey money, don't we take it?
Mm-hmm.
So there must be a prophetic action. Preach against those money, reject those money. And then there our prayer will be in action. So it's not just enough to go and say that way. They went to the site and pray. And then just after that, somebody brings the Galamsey money for Thanksgiving and you collect it. So it must be both sides. We must be prophetic.
Thank you. Sister Nana says, definitely we must cascade Father JB's work. Information is power. Agree 100%. We need to share and support each other. Eco-Conscious Citizens has its monthly online meeting on the last Thursday of each month. Please contact, and then you have the email address here so that we can, the more we join forces, the better, the greater our impact. So thank you, Sister Nana. Evola. So I have 2 more hands after Jevla. Then I think we've been almost two hours in. So, but if you're all enjoying it, we can stay for the full 2 hours. That's we have 15 minutes more to go. So Jevla, yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you, Mami Exa, Mami Elua. And for this hosting us, it's been great. And I think there's about 30 people, right now, so that's fantastic. And I'm sure we can all take something from this. And thank you to Father JB. We've seen some of your posts on our platform. So we already have an idea of what you're doing, and it's good to see you personally to share with us as well. Yeah, it's very sad, very, very sad to see what's going on in our homeland. And like other people are saying, those of us who are outside the country, we even feel more sadder than I think people in Ghana. But that's how the Ghana has gone to a extent that you saw the Ghana, the program that you put up there, where all the rivers, the Birim, the Pra, the Subile, the Tano, Abe Lagoon, all being desecrated. For what? And what also saddens me is, like Father is saying, there are laws, the PNDC laws, the Land and Mineral Resources laws, Land Commission laws, they all say we should not do anything to destroy our rivers. So how come that we are still destroying them? That's what Beckers believe. And I think we all owe to try and do as much as we can. And that's why we give so much thanks to the activists, particularly Father JB and Manuel. And what I think, what can we do to stop the Lands Commission from issuing any more further licenses? Because the first point is the source. The source is where the license is issued. And then the president goes to meet the chiefs and say, you know, you the chiefs and DCs, you are part of blame to stop it because your areas are being done and you're not doing anything about it. But what about the source that is issuing the license to come and do the job? And I understand that last week, they're going to now pause before they issue the license to consult the chiefs or the DCs before they issue the license now. So why has it taken them this long time to realize that they can't just issue any license willy-nilly before they realize that it's going to do damage? So my question is, can we do something to get the Lands Commission from issuing more further licenses? Is this something that we can petition them as well? And my second point is, when the president met the chiefs and the DCs and he asked them to do something and show evidence that they are destroying their areas and report to him within a week or so, I mean, can we write to the president and ask him, has he got a report yet, or has he got any feedback from the chiefs yet, and what is he going to do next himself? Is there something that we can petition him to tell us, you know, with the activists and advocates? That's my two questions. Manuela, am I clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Father, you want to come in?
You want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Ejabula. Yeah, Ejabula.
Yeah.
Now, yes. Now, the first question about the licensing. Till now, issuing the application for license is legal. No, we are in a democracy. And then once we're in democracy and the things are legal, it is right for somebody to apply for a license as it now. So now let's imagine that the law stands. When they apply, it is the right of the community, because I have all the documents. It is they will send the application to the DC of that territory. The DC will also send the letter to the chief and people of that area. So when that letter is sent, within 21 days, they have to respond, either object or silent. Silent means consent. And that is what the first DCE did. And I objected to him. I confronted him. So when they bring it there, they must read it and explain it to the people. So the people have the right to say yes or no. So when the chief said they have no right, that they have no power, that is not true. My village chief, and then ourselves, we try to say that we don't want it, and that brought to an end. As I told you, within 3 months, we have objected to 3 applications. Now, on the other hand, from my research at Wasa Hiyawa, along the Cobra from Bordier to Asankrigwa, when I went there, they told me, Father, sometimes we'll be here. The people will come with the certificate that, no, we have the license to come and mine this area, blah, 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 signed by Nana so, signed by this. They put up fictitious names. The people don't even live in the area. Meanwhile, this is signed in Accra, everything. No, in Ghana, everything is possible. So before you realize they're already mining your land, and they say we have the letter, and these are illiterates. Who will stand in for them? So that is also the other side of it. So sometimes they come without the people knowing. So here, this is where the enlightened people, the educated people can stand in for their people. Now, in terms of the license, for the moment, as I mentioned, is legal. We can petition the government to say, now, don't issue license or try to maybe abrogate the small-scale mining, which they tried and it didn't work. So until we go into that, which will take a long time, because there are some good ones, which I doubt. So until that one passes, what we have to use is the education, the right of the people to say no. There's another advocacy in Latin America, which we are involved, called the right to say no. So the people have the right to say no. So we have to carry out this education to the people to say they have the right to say no. And that is constitutional. In fact, in the letter that we wrote to the president from Jema, we say, Jema people are just, we are just using our constitutional right to say no to mining, which is legal. So I think for the moment, that is the only tool we can use to say no to this. Now, in terms of have I answered the first one? In terms of the second question, when the president say, produce evidence, sometimes I don't want to be political, but when they go by this, I get infuriated because they are playing upon our intelligence. Now, I give you a typical example. I'm a Catholic priest. We are not supposed to marry. We are not supposed to have children. So if somebody accuses me that, Father Blay, Father JB, but I know this is your child. The person has accused me. So I say, go and produce evidence. Now, the evidence is that I have to produce that the child is not mine. And thank be to God, now we're in a scientific world. Bring this child. Let us do the simple thing. Let us do the DNA. So DNA will tell you whether this is for the JB's child or not. So with the DNA, I produce it. So the government, instead to say that produce evidence, why don't they also produce evidence that it is not true that their people are doing the galamsey? So you are accusing the government that Nimiri Forest is being mined by your Kumasi chairman. Produce the evidence that, look, this Nimiri Forest that you are talking about, it is being mined by Ijabuna. Here, all his prepared documents. Produce evidence that the DSO thing that happened is being mined by the... Why don't you produce evidence that it is not also true? So instead of saying that produce evidence that is true, let them give us the evidence that it is not true. And they have more apparatuses than the individual people. The government has all the tools. So for me, that is the other side of it. It's a simple logic.
Thank you. And in terms of not asking the Minerals Commission not to issue licenses, I think that's what they've done for Asemkrom recently with the petition. They've given very, very succinct reasons why that place shouldn't be given out to anybody. And the Minerals Commission must be living under a tree if they want to ignore all of that and go ahead and issue. So we have to make it difficult for them to plead ignorance. Mr. James Lomé, please unmute. I think that would be our last question.
There are two more.
Oh, okay. Pius had a hand up. Yeah, okay. So after Mr. Lomé, then Pius. Please unmute yourself and speak. James Lomé. I don't think he's there. Okay, Pius. You're mute.
Okay, thank you very much. for this advocacy. This is my first time of hearing about you, but I'm really very impressed at the work that you guys are doing, and especially to Father for all the good work that you are doing, because this fight is not an easy fight. I remember I did also speak on a similar topic about Galamsey in another platform, and everything that Father is saying is very true. The issue has become so complicated and so networked that we all know that the people that are involved in this thing are very powerful people, that you can turn left, right, or center, but still it is going to be very difficult for you. But we know that anytime that there is a serious issue in a country, the only people that really have the power to rescue the issue are the people. The people, Ghanaians have to realize that where our country has got to is not a joke. Water is the #1 most important thing in any country. When your water system is destroyed, your life is destroyed. I'm in China. China is a very populated country, very industrialized country. They have pollution issues. I'm telling you right now, my water bill for drinking water alone is almost as expensive as my food. So it seems Ghanaians are getting water freely, and we don't see the importance of it. If we sit down and say our chiefs are going to solve the problem, the chiefs are the same people that are involved in it. Didn't we hear when the president met at the chief council, what came out of it? So the youth of Ghana need to rally themselves around. They need to rise up. They need to fight to rescue their country. Otherwise, this thing will turn around, go forward, come back, and it will never end. And bear in mind, when there is any issue that money is involved, it's always very, very difficult to end. So I would just say thank you, Father. Thank you, everyone. Keep on the good work. I believe that it will be possible to end this thing one day. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pius.
Hello, this is James. I'm back.
Yeah, okay, James. You'll be our last
yes,
question. Yeah.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, the host, for this wonderful session. To cut it short, Father has a strategy which has worked. The government has adopted many strategies, including the military, the police, the whatever. They have not achieved as much success as Father has achieved in a small way. I would suggest that we adopt Father's strategy and move. Father has done Jema and 1 or 2 other villages. Can we also pick one more village next to where he left off? 1 or 2 or 3, and do the same, push gradually, step by step. If we want to look at the whole country, it may be too daunting, but we move step by step like Father has done, the message will go around and you have achieved concrete results on the ground. So this is my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, James. In fact, the template for the, the petition that he did for Assam Chrome, we shared the soft copy to those that are on our email list, but we will have it available. I'll share it on the Eco-Conscious Citizens site as well. Right now, we have a small copy, a town called Atronsu. They have come and put up the signboard for a community mining. The people say that Nana Atronsu, it's a fairly small stream, but it's actually the name of the place. So they attach so much importance to it. The chief says they don't want it. Most of the youth say they don't want it. The president and the team have gone to put community mining signboard there, and it looks like they are pressing it on them to that they are coming to do it. So they reached out, and so if we want a project, this is one that is very hot and ready. Father, we're going to need your help.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Okay. So let each one of us, our very communities, if you have a hometown that is being ravaged, start this Father Jema template in your community. And I'm sure that little by little, we are going to make some inroads. While we also look at it at the national level, I think the micro level, we've seen that it works, and we can actually expand it. Thank you so much, James. Another hand is up, Miss Sedinam Kinamo.
Good. Well, I'm in South Central Los Angeles, and I wrote my question. I really didn't want to ask it. I really think that we should use January Constitution Day in Ghana to make this like people get it. I don't believe in that one by one. I think we have to use the law to educate. So what about us doing something leading up so we can make Constitution Day all about the environment? That was all of my question. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I think that's a very incredible suggestion. Aula, let's do something then, Father and everyone here. So yeah, and then you know, Sedinam, we have a proverb in my language that if you show an old lady medicine, you are the one that goes to pick it for her. So we're gonna co-opt you to lead this, and then we are all gonna make sure that we make that happen. Deal? Okay.
Yeah, you have messed up because I'm into it.
I like that.
Thank you. It's okay, y'all. I'm on.
Okay, great. Excellent. So, Father,
yes.
I don't know what to say. So this is your platform. Aula, let's get Father onto the eco-conscious citizens. But then, and let's all, each one of us here is here because we care. And we want to go beyond, you know, just being angry at what we're seeing. We want to be able to do what you have done for those communities, from both micro level and then macro level. So I don't think I can add more than what everyone here has said.
Thank you so much. And once I have Father's details, I will put him on the Eco-Conscious Citizens platform. This has been an amazing evening. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Father. And thank you for everybody who attended. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We have a few, we have two campaigns running right now. One is for the people of Achema, Kotokum. Again, for that place, the elders, some other elders of the place, plus the chief, they've gone to bring Toto onto Nana Ofen. And so there's no water in that area. Even they built them, what do you call it, borehole, but borehole doesn't work most of the time. And Ofen, which was their go-to water, is nothing to, you can't use it for anything. So we are amplifying their voice by telling everyone about it. And I'm hoping that Asantehene and his court would hear of this and possibly call the town's elders and deal with them. And then we also have my home area. You know, I've always not thought that I'm doing all this so that the Emanzule, which is where I grew out, which is the river by which I grew, was going to be saved. And 3 days ago, I got a video that it has been breached. So Nana Manzule has been breached, not that they're doing mining on it, but the mining or what they've done to Subile, Broma, all those smaller streams has finally, with the rain and everything, gone to really make it look so bad. I haven't been able to sleep the past 3 days. So we are also on that. And then the Atronsu one that I just mentioned. So you can support what we're doing. We do most of it with Facebook sponsored ads. And then also if we need people to get together and start getting the community action, I'm glad to report that today, this afternoon in Ghana, in the Lambele community, the Nzima community, we have two big community groups. And those groups have come together to issue a strong statement, which will be coming out shortly, where they're putting the responsibility on our chiefs, especially that if we see this kind of thing go on in your community and you don't raise, it's not like you have, you have stood against it and they are forcing it on you, but you're just looking on, then you don't deserve your stoop. and also some responsibilities for our politicians and the citizens as well. So something is going on, and it's from all these little things we're doing that a lot more people are becoming aware that we can't continue like this forever. So we have our marching orders. You can support us when you go to the website. There's a link that you can either donate directly there, or you can, whichever way you can support. We are always ready to make use of that support for the benefit of all of us. Okay. Did I get another hand up? Guys.
I was going to ask the update on the Amanzule, so you already mentioned it, so thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. Adaba, did you have anything to say there?
Michael,
yeah, did you have a question? Okay, I think he's the way.
Okay. Pius
you got Sister Felicity.
Pius is done. Yeah, Felicity, oh, your hand was up. Where are you? I didn't see the hand up. Do I have a? Okay. So yeah, those, if you sent a note that you needed a copy of Father's dissertation, we can share it as well. Or Father, I will share your information, then they can reach out.
Yes. Or they can also apply directly to the proquest.com.
Proquest.com. Okay.
The link either for a PDF copy or for the hard copy.
Okay.
And then you order them.
Okay. Felicity, okay, your hand is up. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I would like to congratulate you for the good work that you have started. And just to tell you, I came late. I wanted to participate, but in the convent we had some meeting, then I had to participate, so I couldn't join you later.
Oh, you're a sister?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, my sister.
Yes.
Yeah, but though I didn't participate fully for the program, but hearing what people are saying and with what Father has done, Mother Teresa Calcutta said, if you can't save all, you can save one person. So at least save one person. We cannot stop Karamse in the whole Ghana, but one place or one community we can stop, just as Father started. But looking at the thing, education, like what we have said, is one. People, because many of the people are ignorant, and you can't bring them because you cannot do the thing that you don't know. You cannot, somebody has to teach you so that you'll be enlightened to it. And secondly, also is leadership. Many of the youth, they have goodwill, but they don't have someone to lead. I remember Father when he was working with, because I've been following him and some of the things we have been talking about. There was one day that this Karamse program in Jema, they called him, and one of the boys was saying, Father, we are by you, don't leave us. Oh. We praise you, don't leave us, you stand by us. We are seeing they were looking for somebody to lead them so that they can act. But if our other places, we don't have someone to lead them, how are they going to act? So we can, like we have traveled, and some of us also have learned, we can do as Father did. Somebody will say that, like some of what we say, we are not here, so we are not affected. We are affected, indirectly we are affected. Because one day we will go back home for holiday. We cannot carry water here. We will go and drink. And if you go and the water is polluted, are we not going to be affected? So it's not only the people back home that are. So you can't say that maybe we are here, so maybe our people. No, we are also involved indirectly because we cannot send our food here and also water when we are going for a holiday. Even if it's 1 day journey, we cannot stay without drinking water. So how are you going to? So we are also involved. So I thank you very much for this good work. Let me see if I have time, maybe I'll participate some of this thing. And I will also pray for you that God will also give you the heart, the courage, so that you can stand and also stand forward and fight for our nation. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Wow. Wow. Sister Felicity, you can save everybody, save one. So
one.
That's a commitment for each one of us. Your town, and if your hometown is not ravaged by galamsey like mine, adopt one. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is our Father JB Accord. Let's do it here. We must, each of us, pick a community and use his template to save that community or help the people save themselves, because we are not doing, we can't do it as, saviors. We have to bring them along to save themselves. Thank you so much. Adaba, you back or no?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
You sent me to the Mineral Commission Office reports that we had the last time. 3 times I've been there myself. They literally refused to give me the report.
Okay, we will keep at it. Okay, so if there's nothing else, Father, you wanna have some closing remarks or?
Well, my closing remark once more is to thank Lisbeth and her team for the marvelous work that you have done and are still doing. And I think this is what we need to make a change. I have already sent some of the letters I've written to her, and I'm going to send they are like templates. So that even if you don't think about what you just change the address, change this, and use the same words and few things to also advocate for the people. So I'm going to send her all the letters that are prepared to the president, to the Mineral Commission, to the GC, objections. Sometimes if you have a commission applying to your place, just use a template, change the address, and then send it to them. So I'm going to get all that available to Lisbeth. So once again, thanks also for the participants. I think it has been a very active and very interactive discussion that we've had. It was not monopoly. I didn't talk alone, but I've learned also more from you and your enthusiasm, some already preparing even to support in diverse ways. I think that is very encouraging. So thanks very much. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for the time. And we did it on Facebook Live. So feel free to share the link so that everyone else can also hear of it. And we'll have the documents available for anybody. If you are not on the platforms that I'm on, just reach out to info@gheag.org and we'll share all that information with you as well, the template and everything. Thank you all once again.
Thanks so much. And the link, will you send it or is there already?
The link to Facebook?
The Facebook link, yeah.
Yeah, it's already there. It's already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have it, so you send it to me.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Sure.
Thanks so much. Thanks everybody.